What's going on, my little piglets? It's your BFF Pork Chop here, and I'm coming at you with another update with Pork Chop. So, I'm leaving some guy's house. I know that sounds really bad, but I bought a TV. It's in the back, as you can see, probably from the corner right here, that my seats are down. I bought a TV from a guy from a local buy-sell trade, and it was weird because I messaged this guy on my day off on, I think it was on Tuesday. I messaged him, and I was like, hey, man, I say that you have this TV for sale. Is it still available? And he's like, yeah, man. I said, all right, cool. So I said, when do you want to meet and where? And he said, well, I'm working right now, so we can meet about 5 or 6 tonight. I said, okay, man, that's no big deal. Okay, it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday, so it was 2 days ago. And so Wednesday came and went. Haven't heard from him. Thursday, I told my wife, okay, if I don't hear from this guy by today, then I'm going to go, you know, I saw a TV at Easy Pawn that I was looking at. That was $40 more, but it looked like, you know, a good TV. So I was like, I'm going to buy that if this guy doesn't respond. And then that day came and went, and then my wife was like, did you get a TV? I was like, oh, no, I didn't. I was waiting to hear back from that guy, and he never got back to me. She's like, oh, well, okay. So this guy messaged me about an hour ago. Actually about an hour and a half ago, and was like, hey man, sorry, I've been really busy with my business. Are you still interested? And I said, hell yeah, I'm still interested. I need this TV by tomorrow night. And so I was like, yeah, I'll meet you. Where do you want to meet me? And he said, dude, you can just come to my house. And I'm like, oh, okay. Usually, like, buy, sell, trade, people meet like in the public area for safety. This guy's like, nah, man, come on in. And then, you know, he showed up, and he walked through the front door, and I guess he expected me to follow him, but I stayed put in the entryway of his living room at the front door, because I was like, I was like, I'm not going in. You know, that's, first of all, it's disrespectful. Second of all, you know, I don't know. I don't want to be, you know, cornered or anything like that. The guy was a nice guy. He looked like he was a nice guy. He owns his own business. He's a pretty cool guy. And then he started yelling at me from the living room, and I was like, what? And I couldn't hear him because he had one of his dogs barking. So I'm just like, you know, like, mm-hmm. And so he pops out, and he's like, hey, man, I'm going to need you to come back here, and I'm going to need you to help me with this. And I was like, oh, okay. And it's a huge TV. It's a 50-inch Sony flat screen TV. And I was like, okay, sold. I'm buying that shit, definitely. And so he cleaned it off, and he's like, man, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not going to leave this dirty. He said, I like to keep my shit tidy. So he takes, you know, Clorox and wipes it down. And then he takes a bath towel and wipes it. And he's like, does it look good, man? I was like, man, it doesn't matter to me. You know, it's all good. And he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna warn you. This son of a bitch is heavy. He said, once you get home, I'm just going to let you know. When you're by yourself, it's heavy. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm going to test to see how heavy it's going to be when I get to the house. And so, yeah, that's my little side story. The guy was cool. It turns out he owns his own pool business, and he builds pools for a living. And he said, man, you wouldn't expect it. He's like, but we have been blessed ever since we opened our doors last year. He said, I got about 50 people on the line right now that are trying to, you know, get me to come out and build their pools for them. I'm like, man, that's fantastic. With COVID, you wouldn't expect it, did you? He's like, no, not really. He's like, but you know, people are getting mad when I'm leaving at like 5 o'clock and stuff. Like, where are you going? He's like, it's Friday night, dude. It's 5 o'clock. I'm going home. I'm going to cash my check and go home. So I was like, all right, that's cool, man. And so I, you know, cash apped him the money. And then, first of all, he showed me that the TV worked. So I was like, okay, that's good. I'm glad the TV's working. And so he pulled the TV out of this little closet area. He's like, this used to be kind of like my gaming room, where I can get away from everything. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. I understand that. And so he pulled it out. I cash apped him the money, and he shook my hand and said, thank you so much. And I said, well, good luck with your business, man. Thanks. And off we went. And so there's my little story. But anyway, so I wanted to just briefly tell you guys about that. I thought that was not the TV, luckily. That was a box that I had put in the trunk. I got boxes. I got this random jar right here that used to hold pickled okra. or banana peppers. And my wife's like, why do you have that? And I'm like, Mike could use it someday. So I was like, that's what I'm going to do. Still haven't used it yet, but it's a big jar. I'm sure that I can, put something in it to make it worthwhile. But regardless, it was a pleasant exchange. And so just wanted to tell you guys about that, and also about how I accidentally harassed a woman today. So I was delivering an arrangement. Actually, it was an arrangement. It was a basket of flowers that the shop made, and of course, I'm delivering for my wife's flower shop that she works for. And so I called this number because the person at the door's not answering. I rang the doorbell twice, knocked twice. Waited about a minute in between, and I'm like, okay, like I got other places to go. I need these people to hurry up. So I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna go call them. So I called them, and they were like, this lady picked up, and she's like, hello? And I said, hi, yeah, ma'am, this is Colin with blank 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 flower shop. How are you doing today? And she hung up on me. I said, okay. And then I called her a second time, no answer. And then I called her a third time, said, hello. I was like, yes, this is Colin with blank blank flower shop. I have an arrangement for a blank blank, the family of blank blank. And I was wondering if I had the right address. And then I told her the address, and she's like, no, you have the wrong address. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, it's for this family, right? And then she hung up on me. I was like, okay. So luckily I called and got a second phone number, an alternate phone number. So I called that phone number, and they were telling me, that's funny. I was like, yeah, this lady probably thought I was a telemarketer. She's hung up on me 3 times now, or twice on me. And then the lady on the other line was just laughing. Apparently she called a flower shop and had to wire it to a local flower shop, the flower shop I work for. And so she was like, well, how can I help you? And I'm like, well, I'm trying to figure out if this lady knows that I'm, what. And then I look in the rear view, or I look in the side door, and this guy was like, are you for this house? Are you for this house? I said, yeah, I'm over here at this address. He said, okay, cool. And so I was like, I'm on the phone with the lady. I'm like, okay, never mind. I think we got it resolved. If I have any more problems, I'll give you a call back. She said, okay. I was like, thanks, bye. And I was like, yeah, I tried calling somebody, and they hung up on me twice. They probably thought I was a telemarketer. And he said, who answered? I said, some lady answered. And he said, what phone number did you call? And it turns out that I called the wrong number. I was a digit off. The phone number ended in like a 3, and I was supposed to call a 6. And I was like, oh! So I just harassed a random lady for no reason, and he just started laughing. And I just thought that was funny. And so I gave him the piece. I don't know. It said to the family of this person, and I was like, I'm sure that somebody passed away, unfortunately. So I, treated it with dignity and was like, well, here you go. And it was crazy, though, because the first arrangement that I had delivered 3 pieces, actually. An arrangement, a spray, and a wreath for a casket piece. And it was a 23-year-old that was killed just out of nowhere locally here. And I asked my wife, and I was like, well, what's his story? Like, what happened? And she was like, well, he was 23 years old and he was killed. Or he died. I was like, oh. And then Jordan, her coworker, was like, well, actually, there's an investigation going on because there was apparently a group of people that were there when he died, and they are suspecting foul play occurred. I'm like, oh, damn. Like, that is crazy. So this guy potentially could have been, murdered by somebody. And I was like, that is nutso bananas. So hopefully they get that resolved. Hopefully they get that worked out, because that is crazy. And actually, I just got finished listening to a podcast episode of the Brohio podcast. Those guys are crazy in the best way possible. They talk about ghosts and the supernatural to true crimes and, all this and that and anything in between. The one that they uploaded this week was a thing that occurred in the 30s in California. This is a little town right outside of Los Angeles back in the 30s, that this guy murdered some kids in a chicken coop that he owned on a plot of land. And not only did he murder these kids, he also beat them and raped them and killed them. There were at least 4 that they mentioned in the show, but when he was captured, he admitted to at least 20. He killed at least 20 kids. So I was like, that is, wow. And one of the ones that he raped was his nephew, and it was just, you talk about eerie. But anyway, I know you came here for some lighthearted fun, and here I am talking about incest, rape, and this and that. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so it was a very interesting episode, to say the least. And so that's all I really want to talk about, like personal stuff that I'm doing right now. Now to some channel talks. I have one poll that expires tonight before midnight, and that is, if I were to do a Pokemon Challenge video series, would you want me to do one for Pokemon Red or Pokemon Leaf Green? And so far, you guys have said Red. Now, Leaf Green could, for some reason, I can get some randos in here that are going to just randomly just vote Leaf Green, and that might be the winner. But the poll closes in about 4 hours, or a little over 4 hours, almost 5 hours. And so, just letting you guys know that is what the poll is. And then I have one that expires in 6 more days. So next Thursday, this other poll expires. And then we're just, I got a few other ones that I'm trying to get more polls going. I have a lot in the queue for scheduled poll questions for y'all. So I hope you guys are going to, look for those and participate. So there you go. Homework question number 1, though. Do you have any stories about, a buy-sell trade story or a Craigslist story or anything crazy? It could be personal. It could be one that you heard of. Just let's go ahead and get a conversation started down below. Homework question number 2. Have you participated in all the polls? And let me know. And then I'm going to get into homework question number 3. So homework question number 3 is, the topic before I can get to the homework question. The Toronto Huskies Season 4 premieres next Tuesday. So we are I think today is 4 days away. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yep, 4 days away from Huskies Season 4. So, question number 3, how excited on a scale of 1 to 10 are you for Huskies Season 4? I'm really excited. I'm about at a 12 right now for you guys. This is something that I recorded. I can't even remember when I went and recorded these. This had to have been December or January, something around there, and probably before that. I don't even know for sure the day that I started working on Season 4. But I will start working on Season 5 whenever the new Madden comes out. So whenever that comes out, I'll definitely work on that. And also, I just remembered the poll question about the Dallas Aggies logo, because the Dallas Aggies is a series that I've been trying to get up and running for the last couple of years. 1 year secretly, and then the next year, last year actually, I was trying to get it to like coincide. Sorry, I just bit my cheek. Coincide with the Toronto Huskies Season 3, 4, whichever. Now it's going to coincide with the Huskies Season 5, the Dallas Aggies. For those that don't know what it's going to be a challenge series that I'm going to do, where I'm going to have an entire Dallas Cowboys roster filled with nothing but Texas A&M players. I don't know how many have declared for the draft this year, or how many are going to be in Madden next year, or Madden this year for 22, Madden 22. But I'm probably going to have to go back and create some former Aggies of yesteryear. Not like greats from like the 60s or 70s or anything like that, but like ones that are, could potentially still be in the NFL, even if it's going to be for like a year. And then I go into the draft and I draft nothing but Aggies. And for those that aren't declaring for the draft, but they were good at Texas A&M, like an offensive lineman that was good, but he just couldn't reach the next level, I'll make him as a player in Madden 22. Of course, we're going to draft the 12th man himself, Cullen Gillespie, Ryan Tannehill, Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Jake Matthews, all these good players that were for Texas A&M that are in the NFL. So they're going to be in the game. And then also maybe a veteran backup, like Stephen McGee or Johnny Manziel or somebody like that in there. I know that Trevor Knight, I think, is still technically in the game, even though he has like a 40 overall rating or something like that. So that's something that might happen. And then, of course, there are multiple kickers and there are multiple punters from Texas A&M in the game. So what I'll do is I'll probably, for depth, move them to like cornerback or safety or something like that, just for depth reasons. Doesn't mean they're going to start, but it's for those reasons. But anyway, that's all I really wanted to talk about for the Dallas Aggies. But guys, I hope you guys are going to have a great weekend ahead. It's Friday, so that's always a good thing. Oh, looks like Tanner came by and spray painted the poles that he's going to be putting in. Speaking of poles, because we're going to start doing the yard. We're going to get chain link fence in the yard, so he came by and did the X's where the poles are going to go. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much once again for dropping by. Please participate in those three locations, or those three homework questions. The keywords, let's just say Pork Chop got a new TV. Those are the keywords. All right. Always remember, my little piglets, Colin Pork Chop loves y'all the most. So y'all take it easy, guys, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.